There's not really much difference between teens and adults in The Sims 4. They look the same, they can pretty much do all the same things. The only difference is that one of them is just still in high school. And this is one of those things in The Sims 4 that's just kind of disappointing. I feel like a lot of us really would like to see teens have some sort of distinction. That's why things like the high school pack really helped to sort of build out the teen life state a lot more. But of course, the issue of them still looking identical to adult Sims still remains. Back in the older Sims games, the teens used to be a little bit smaller than adults, and this was kind of fun for like realism and storytelling purposes because at least it looked like your sim was growing up a little bit more. But in The Sims 4, they made teens and adults the exact same size, and I think a lot of that has to do with like animations and stuff, because if they were to make the teens shorter, they'd have to remake all of the animations. And even like in The Sims 3, teens had different clothes than adult Sims did because they were a little bit smaller. So in The Sims 4, making teens and adults the same size meant you could reuse animations, you could reuse clothing and cast assets, and that just makes it easier on development to have them be identical. But as far as gameplay goes, it kind of stinks. Believe it or not, there's actually a mod for this though. There's a height slider mod that was made by Lumia, and with this mod, you can adjust the heights of all Sims, so you can make somebody taller and somebody shorter. So that fixes even more than just the teens being the same size as adults problem. It also just makes all of your Sims more realistic, because obviously in real life, every single person is not literally the exact same size. The way it works is by adding like a new kind of slider in cast. So if you drag your Sim's neck up and down, it changes how tall they are. Lumia also made a couple different height presets, so you can just click like short, medium, and tall. There's a couple things to be concerned about here. Number one, and most obviously, if Sims are different heights, the animations are going to clip. So I assume with things like maybe two Sims kissing, if one is tall and one is short, it just won't work. Well, it'll work, but it's just gonna look weird. Obviously, Lumia didn't go through and like remake every single animation in the game. That's just not a thing that you can do. That's the whole reason the Sims team hasn't done it, so obviously a modder can't just fix that single-handedly. But I don't think that bothers me too much. It's honestly kind of funny. If anything, sometimes I let my Sims clip through things. Like I'll have them clip through doors and not care, so why do I care if they clip when they're kissing? I'm gonna close my game and download this really quickly. You're gonna download these just like any other mod. Just put those package files in your mods folder. If you need help with that, I'll link a tutorial on how to install mods down below. I promise it is really easy and it's not scary. The only thing is that if you play on console, you can't download mods. It only works on computers. I'm kind of excited about this. I feel like I've been meaning to try this mod for so long, so it's kind of fun to like actually test it out for once. Although Cass seems to be having some issues. Okay, we're back. We're fine. So I guess with just any sim, you can drag them. No way. Okay, that's actually really cool. I'm so curious to see like how this impacts everyday gameplay. But look, I can be tall and I can be that short. Let's compare the different heights. Oh, look at the picture. It's just her forehead because she's so small. Well, then what happens if they're tall? Does it like put their head out of the photo? Look at them. That's so funny. I almost want to go get like default Sims. Like, can I make Nancy Landgrab really tall or something? Because I feel like that might be kind of fun. Let me just stick this Sim anywhere. I'm gathering a group of test Sims. Don't mind me. I just need lots of options. And then we can go into Cass and edit all of the Goths and Landgrabs and see how this works in game. So it looks like on the body presets section, you can pick like different presets for different heights. There's like a really short, a kind of tall, and really tall set, just to make it a little bit easier to adjust it without having to worry about sliding it yourself. I think I might make Bella Goth really small. Oh, and her hand's gone. Okay, well, the thing did say that if that happens, you have to restart your game. Yeah, it says occasionally the hands or feet of Sims disappear when adjusting the height. I'm still trying to figure out what causes it, but a game restart is a temporary solution. That's fine. It happens to the best of us. I'm not here to complain. Maybe I'll make Mortimer like medium tall. Perhaps I'll make Nancy like really tall. Oh my goodness. We could do Jeffrey like a little bit shorter. I've decided that I should leave Jeffrey normal height because I need like a comparison sim. I kind of forgot about that. Jeffrey can stay regular height, but maybe I can make Cassandra Goth like a little bit shorter because she's a teen. That way she's a bit smaller. Malcolm can be a little bit shorter too. I don't think it works on kids because that would be kind of weird, but that's not really my concern. I'm more worried about the adult and teen Sims. But I think we've adjusted everybody slightly. Let's go see how the animations work. Oh my God, look at them. That's actually so cool. You don't really think about it very often, but when you see like a big family in The Sims 4, they're all the same height, or like they look a little bit shorter because maybe someone's hair is shorter or whatever. But you just don't really notice that like everybody is the same height until you look at something like this and you're like, oh, well this is way more realistic. I wonder if The Sims 5 will have like an actual built-in height slider. Because I think at this point in The Sims 4, it's way too late to go back and add like a real official one in game. But I wonder if like the next Sims game will actually come with something like this. I think that it probably should. Like that seems like a logical next step in CAS, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well here's everybody. You can see they're all like slightly different heights because Nancy's a little bit taller, Cassie's a little bit shorter. I'm gonna have Cassie stand next to Jeffrey. Whoa, 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 stop. Hang on. Autonomy off. You stay put. You are not allowed to move on your own. Okay, well Jeffrey is the control sim, so I wanted everybody to stand next to him so I could see like the difference. So I just made Cassie like a little bit shorter than Jeffrey because I figured like she's a teen, she's a bit younger. That just makes so much more sense. I feel like there shouldn't be any weird animations between these two. I feel like when they're just talking, it probably won't be any problem. Like when he's like showing his phone or just like, you know, talking randomly, you aren't gonna see a lot of weird clipping, I guess. I think that kind of thing will come more into play when they're like doing romantic interactions. Like if I had these two kiss or something, I feel like tall Mortimer and short Bella kissing is probably gonna be kind of weird. Oh yeah, that's weird. Okay. That was my biggest concern, was specifically that one. Or like kiss cheek, because he's just gonna kiss cheek at like normal height, but obviously neither of them are normal height, so it doesn't work. Or maybe if they hug. Oh, is she trying to mistletoe kiss? Well, that's not gonna work. You didn't even hold it up high enough. Well, good going. The hugging's actually kind of okay. The hugging wasn't as bad. And then the normal stuff, like just, I don't know, express fondness, deep conversation, those things you probably won't notice because he's just talking to her. What happens if he caresses her cheek? Is he gonna get it in the right height? Oh, that was fine. Oh, okay. Well, that's no problem. I think it might just be the kissing. And obviously that makes sense. Like, what are you gonna do about that? I wonder what happens if you try and take a selfie, because one of them's probably gonna be like too low or something. I'm curious to see. Oh, it didn't work. Take a photo. They're gonna die in the heat probably. That would kind of ruin the day if I'm being honest. Photography is terrible. Okay, well, I'm just trying to do an experiment. Oh, that's fine. Oh my God. All of my concerns are like no problem. Everything that I was potentially worried about is a non-issue. It works just fine. Okay, well, is there like other animation glitches when you're trying to like cook or something? But I don't think that she's so short that like the counter is too small, so I don't think it'll be a problem. Yeah, it's fine. Oh my God. This is so cool. I know that whenever I make a mod video, I like sit here just, you know, gushing about the modder and how impressive it is, but it really is like so impressive that somebody can make something like this and it like works so well. A lot of you might know Lumia already because believe it or not, Lumia, oh, that was clipping in the stove. That's fine. That's fine. It's okay. Bella, you do whatever you want. If you want to stick the pot directly inside of the oven, that's okay. But as I was saying, a lot of you might know Lumia because Lumia actually works for EA now. He does like really cool cinematic stuff and now he works on the actual official trailers for The Sims. You also may have seen his stuff like for other modders trailers before too. Like for example, I made a video on Little Dika's Sweet Treats pack and Lumia made the trailer for that Sweet Treats pack. So you've probably actually seen some of this stuff before. Of course, I'm gonna link literally everything of Lumia's down below this mod download. I'll link their Twitter and Patreon and all of that stuff as well if you want to go check it out. But I am like sincerely so impressed by this. I like actually cannot believe how well it works and like how easy it is and stuff. And it's just so cool. It's such like a fun, detailed touch to like really customize your Sims with a thing that I didn't really even think was possible. Like I kind of just always assumed that height sliders just like wouldn't work in The Sims 4 and that's why we didn't have them. But this is so cool and it does work. I'm really, really impressed. Oh. I had them flirt kind of by accident. I didn't really consider the fact that I was like having them cheat on their spouses, but I am currently having them cheat on their spouses. And Jeffrey is literally right there. So that's kind of cringe. Oh my God, get a room. Ew. Okay, well, stop. I actually have some more thoughts on this like height slider thing and teens being a different height business that I kind of wanted to share. It's related specifically to preteens in The Sims because you've probably seen a lot of people talking about how badly they want preteens added to The Sims 4. And I feel like a lot of that desire for preteens just comes from the fact that teens are basically the same as adults in this game. People are just like really wanting teens to feel a little bit younger and that's why they're asking for preteens. They want like shorter teens or like younger seeming ones. And I feel like if the teens were shorter, people wouldn't have this request as much because when it comes to like actual gameplay, I don't think that I want preteens. I guess if they were gonna go back and like update another life state and like add another life state in, I'd prefer they would do babies, which they're doing now, so we don't need to worry about that. But then after that, I think I'd rather they go back and like really update children and teens separately, as opposed to like adding in a third sort of half-finished life state in the middle. Because when I think about gameplay purposes, I feel like preteens wouldn't really be that different from kids or teens. They'd just probably kind of look different. I can't really think of any gameplay that would be like unique to those Sims. I guess they would like go to middle school, but realistically it's just a rabbit hole, so it doesn't make a difference. And like what skills would they have that are different? I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna go back and do something like that, I'd prefer they update kids and update teens instead of just adding one in. But I'm really curious to hear what your thoughts are on that. Like, what do you think they would add in a preteens update? For clarification, I don't think they're ever actually gonna do that. But if they did, what do you think it would be? Or what would you want it to be, I guess is a better question. For me, I think that ship might have sailed for The Sims 4. I don't really see anything like that coming. But I guess I did say that about babies, and now we are getting a baby update. So I could be wrong. I thought that was a lost cause too, and then it ended up happening. Or well, it's gonna end up happening. It hasn't actually happened yet. But I don't think that sort of thing is impossible in The Sims 5 or this like Project Renee thing they're working on. And I already wanted to have a height slider or like at least a couple different height presets in this future Sims game, but now having seen this mod, I really want that. I think that would be such a cool addition to the game to have like real built-in differences in height, not just between like teens and young adults, but like between all of the Sims. I'm really curious to see what that would end up being like and like if they actually do it. But I think on that note, I'm gonna end this video right here. I know I've been talking about a whole bunch of random things, but hopefully it's fun to hear my thoughts on The Sims and heights and stuff. Please, please, please go check out Lumia's height slider mod because this one is actually really, really impressive. I'm gonna have that link down below for you. I feel like this mod is so cool for like realism, but also for storytelling. It really is a good one and it works like so well. And if you like mod videos like this, I've done quite a few where I show off some like pretty huge mods that people have made for The Sims 4, so I can link a few more for you down below as well. There's a color picker mod from Carl's Guides that lets you change the color of literally any object. It's kind of like a color slider mod, so you can edit like everything in build mode. I feel like you're gonna like that one, so I'll link it for you here at the end of the video. Thank you for watching, have the best rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye everybody. I am so sorry if this video was like all over the place. I was trying to have a central theme, but I feel like I've just been rambling at you for like an hour, so who knows how it's gonna get cut down, but hopefully it's good.